Did one simple TikTok just cost a quarterback his shot at the starting job? Not a bad throw, not a missed read, not even a mistake on the field, just a video. And somehow, that was enough to flip the entire conversation around Dylan Gabriel overnight. Because the moment that should have been about proving himself suddenly became about something else entirely. And once that switch happens in the NFL, it's very hard to turn it back. But that was just the beginning. Dylan Gabriel didn't go viral for lighting up practice. He didn't trend because coaches were praising him. He didn't take over headlines with some unbelievable throw. No. His first real viral moment tied to Cleveland was a TikTok dance with his girlfriend. And normally, that wouldn't matter. But this wasn't normal timing. This wasn't the quiet part of the offseason where nobody's paying attention. This was the exact moment quarterbacks are supposed to be separating themselves, earning trust, showing urgency, fighting for a role that isn't guaranteed to anyone, and instead, his name was attached to choreography. That's what made fans stop and say, wait, what are we doing here? And once that question gets asked, it doesn't go away. The reaction wasn't slow either. It was instant. Comments started flooding in. People weren't even talking about football anymore. They were talking about focus. Fans saying things like, he thinks he's an influencer already, or there's a QB battle going on and he's doing this. Harsh? Maybe. But that's how this league works. Quarterback is different. It's not just about talent. It's about presence, leadership, obsession with the game. And when you're not the established guy, when you haven't proven anything yet, every single move gets magnified. Especially the ones that don't look like football. And just like that, Dylan Gabriel wasn't being evaluated on ability anymore. He was being evaluated on mindset, and that's a much more dangerous conversation. But then, it got even worse. Because around the same time, people started noticing something else. They were seeing photos from inside the facility, clips from workouts, players arriving early. But one name wasn't showing up the way people expected, Dylan Gabriel. Now, to be fair, reports later suggested he was there. But in the moment, the perception was already building. And in the NFL, perception moves faster than facts. So now you've got two things happening at once, a viral TikTok and questions about presence. That combination, that's how narratives start. And once a narrative starts, it doesn't need much to grow. Meanwhile, someone else in that same building was moving very differently. Shedeur Sanders wasn't trending. He wasn't going viral. He wasn't giving fans anything to debate. And that was the point, because every report coming out painted the same picture. Early mornings, late nights, learning the playbook, building chemistry, asking questions, staying after. Nothing flashy, nothing loud, just consistent, locked-in behavior. The kind that doesn't go viral, but wins locker rooms. And slowly, without saying a word, that contrast started getting louder. One quarterback was being talked about for a video. The other was being talked about for his focus. And in a competition, that difference matters more than people think. Then you add another layer to it. Deshaun Watson is still in that room, a veteran, someone who's seen everything this league can throw at you, still showing up, still working, still staying ready. That sets a standard. So now Dylan Gabriel isn't just being compared to one hungry rookie. He's surrounded by players who either understand the urgency or are clearly matching it. And when everyone else is moving one way, and you look even slightly different, it stands out. And not in a good way. This is where things really start to spiral. Because once fans get that first impression, they don't just forget it. They start watching everything differently. Now every smile looks like he's not serious. Every relaxed moment feels like he doesn't feel the pressure. Every normal action gets questioned. That's how fast perception flips in the NFL. And the crazy part? This didn't come from a bad performance. This came from one moment at the wrong time. But in this league, timing is everything. And behind the scenes, coaches notice more than people think. They're not just watching throws. They're watching habits, who's always in the building, who's asking extra questions, who's obsessed with improving. Because when talent is close, trust becomes the deciding factor, and trust isn't built in highlights. It's built in the small, consistent moments nobody sees. Right now, one quarterback is making that decision easier. The other is adding questions, and coaches hate questions.